Good afternoon. I'm Jen Holz, Associate State Director for Outreach at AARP Maryland. As we keep up our efforts to support caregivers of children during the pandemic by streaming our Lunch and Learn interviews, we've had a great time with guests who aim to provide you with new tips and tools for supporting your little ones and your not so little ones during the remaining days of COVID-19. During our Lunch and Learns, we've explored our kids' mental health and physical health as they endure the struggles of virtual learning and limited social interaction. Today, we will talk about the simplicity of walking and its positive effect on their overall well-being. I'm excited to chat with my colleague, my buddy, David Conway. David is a member of the AARP Maryland Executive Council, and as one of the top volunteers in Maryland, David has had the opportunity to sink his teeth into an initiative that he feels passionately about, and so does AARP. As part of AARP's Livable Communities work, we seek to help communities all over the state come closer to creating great places to live for everyone, regardless of their age. One component of the Livable Communities concept is outdoor spaces and walkability. The ability for residents to get from A to B on foot safely through safe streets design and accessible walkways, but also encouraging folks to get up and walk as part of their healthy behaviors routine. David has led the charge for AARP Maryland on this front for several years now. David, my friend, welcome to our Lunch and Learn series. I'm so happy you can join us today and talk about the simple act of taking a stroll. So let's start here. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you became part of the AARP team.
Well, Jen, thank you. And it's nice being here with you today. And my background, as you know, has been healthcare. I spent 43 years in surgical device sales, which means I spent a great deal of time in the operating room observing surgery and observing anatomy, physiology, and learning a lot about health from kind of, as we like to say, the inside out. So soon after retirement, a friend of mine introduced me to AARP, I think beginning of 2018, and so many of the things AARP is focused on as it relates to the 50 plus and seniors and the health and well-being of the elderly was something that certainly intrigued me. And the healthcare aspect of it probably was the most important thing.
Great. So with a background in the medical field, I'm sure you have seen the worst of what an inactive lifestyle can do. Before you came to our AARP, you and your family had some longstanding traditions around walking. Would you care to share those with us and emphasize why you think these traditions around walking were so important for your girls?
Well, you know, I think to begin with, Jen, both my wife and I were athletic and very active most of our lives. And we both got into the professional ranks. And while we were there, we found exercise was extremely important for stress relief and just for our overall well-being. So when our kids came into the world, I guess we just tended to bring them right along with that. And we used to spend a lot of time with them. They were both quite athletic too. My oldest daughter was a track athlete, and my youngest one participated in all kinds of different activities. But as they got older, one of the things that we found that we could all do together is actually go for a walk. And we found that being together and going for a little, walk down the street or in the neighborhood or going to a park or going to the lake and just having a walk gave us the opportunity to bond and to get to know each other a little bit better. And we used to do things like ask them to tell us a story of something that has happened, in their life, or they pick something that they'd like to discuss while we were having a walk. And we would do the same thing with them. We would have something that we wanted to talk about, and we wanted to include them. And it became just a family activity that has stayed with us. And even now, where, the oldest one's 30 and the youngest one's 25, when we get together during the holidays, we do our traditional 5-mile, 6-mile walks. And mom and dad are trying to prove that we can roll while they're on their phones or listening to music, and they're just strolling right along, but we're together, and that's what's important.
Absolutely. So clearly an act as simple as inviting your kids to take a walk after dinner can help clear your mind, decrease any feelings of isolation that folks might be feeling right now. and even aid in digestion, of course, after a big meal. So now that we know why you love a walk around the block, can you please tell us how this carried over to your work as an AARP volunteer?
Well, it was, I tried, I really have experienced a few things since being with the AARP. I had the opportunity to get introduced to advocacy, and we have such a tremendous advocacy team that works in Annapolis. And I had the ability to learn a lot about that process, and have had the opportunity to really experience just some different aspects of AARP Maryland. But I think someone offered up an opportunity to me in 2019 to consider taking a fellowship with America Walks. And that just happened to be you, Jen.
Oh, it did. Yes, it was a great idea.
And it was an excellent idea. And it was an opportunity for me to learn a lot about transportation systems and walking and the history of walking and all that. But that's how I really got going with this. I think the fellowship allowed me to see an awful lot of aspects of walking, and then as a result of that, I was connected to different organizations, nonprofit organizations that were interested in walking. One of the things about the fellowship, though, that as part of it, I had to develop a walking action plan. As part of my graduation. And so I worked with the Howard County Department of Aging and Independence and developed some action plans around the senior centers and trying to see if we could get people walking and getting more involved in walking for social isolation issues as well as health issues. And then Walk Maryland Day came in October 2019, and I was a walk leader and helped to create and lead a walk. And that led to teaming up with the Maryland Department of Transportation and getting involved in their activities, which were tremendous, especially in 2020, where we were doing everything virtually. The Maryland Department of Transportation developed virtual walking activities and what was known as walk-on-ars or webinars that really introduced people to the benefits of walking. And a lot of different organizations participated in that. And that should continue into this year as well. And then, working with the Horizon Foundation, who supports Complete Streets legislation in Howard County. I had a chance to work with other organizations that are very interested in walking as well. So one thing has led to another, and it's been kind of like a snowball, if you will.
Absolutely. And all of that great work is leading to safer places for people to walk and for their understanding of why the simple act of walking is so incredibly important. In fact, we have a comment that came through live from Hank that says creating great healthy habits is so important. So it absolutely is. And David, thank you for helping on the education and advocacy side of helping people to do that. So here's the big question. What can our caregivers of children, so whether grandparents or parents or guardians, what can they do today to encourage their kids to go out walking as a part of our battle against all of those fallout effects of COVID-19?
Well, this has been a very difficult time, certainly for the kids and for the caregivers as well, having to deal with all of this. And it's put a lot of stress on everyone. And I think getting outside, especially now that the weather is changing and it's getting warmer, getting outside and walking with the kids is not only a good thing for them to do, which gives them a chance to get out. And we all know that kids want to get out. I mean, but walking with them and being with them during this time is a great opportunity to kind of get to know them a little bit better and talk to them and communicate with them. One of the nice things about walking is that you can walk by yourself and listen to music or listen to a book, an audio book. A lot of people are listening to, books while they walk or music. But the other thing that you can do is talk to each other. And it's a good opportunity to do that. And whether you're walking the neighborhood or whether you guys get in the car and drive down to a park or drive to a lake or go to someplace where that's really nice that you can get out and see the scenery, it's a great opportunity for both the adults and the kids to really bond in nature.
Absolutely. Absolutely. David, we love working with you. We love your passion for keeping people healthy inside and out, and we can't thank you enough for all the work that you're doing with AARP Maryland. Walking is such a natural tie-in to this Lunch and Learn series because it could quite possibly be one of the easiest ways to simply feel better during these very difficult times. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone, keep tuning in every other Wednesday as we talk more about keeping our kids happy and healthy during the continued challenges of the pandemic. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.